Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Farooq Patafi. Once again, we are going to talk about politics of Pakistan. Surprise, surprise, the name of the program is Politics Today. But there's something very curious that is happening. Until yesterday, the number one topic, the hottest topic on television screens was the presidential election. We are going to talk about that today. But it seems on television screens, things have changed. Now people are discussing other issues. For example, the Dutch contest that has been dubbed blasphemous. There might be a reason because Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan has also threatened to march on Islamabad yesterday and demand Pakistan to break ties with the Dutch government. That is one thing. Then there were other irrelevant other topics which were irrelevant compared to this one. This one is quite relevant because tomorrow, as we have said, there was the threat. The second, issue that today the government might have done to raise the quality of discourse was a discussion or a precedent that we just saw about job creation and housing boost as well. So at least the government is trying to steer the discourse in the right direction, but it seems that our media is focusing more on minutiae. Today we are going to talk about the election of president, and we are going to talk about the failure of opposition to come up with one name. And then we are going to talk about the question whether for the government and its allies, after the crumbling of opposition alliance, is it going to be a slam dunk for the government? And then we will be talking about other aspects of the government's priorities in today's program. In order to help us understand these issues, we are joined by Barrister Mohammad Ali Saif, who is a senator of MQM, an ally of the ruling party. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Next to him is Senator Sitara Ayaz. She is from ANP, representing ANP. ANP is an opposition party, an ally and member of the alliance that we discussed yesterday, and today we will be discussing it again. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being part of the program. Barrister Sahab, I have to start with you. How confident is your party and your allied government that Dr. Alvi will become president of Pakistan?
Well, it's now quite obvious. Had there been any doubt, I think that has also been removed.
Thanks to the opposition?
Yes, opposition's disagreement over nominating a combined or a joint candidate has kind of created this situation where we now feel confident that Dr. Arif Alvi will definitely win. But having said all this, you see, these fault lines did exist. For quite some time, and it was expected.
You're talking about the fault lines within the opposition?
Within the opposition, yes.
Not the government, right?
Of course not. No, okay. not yet.
Okay.
But yes.
So because I have a question about MQM's policies as well.
Yeah. So, well, but coming to this point, I believe that these fault lines did exist. And with the passage of time, I mean, we saw that the first manifestation was the first show of disagreement was in the election of Prime Minister.
Right.
Then later, when the presidential nomination had to be made, it started, and now it's quite apparent that there seems to be no, I would say, prospects of any compromise anymore.
Right.
Because today, just before coming to this program, I was watching television, and I think People's Party has categorically stated that they will not change Ayaz Hassan's candidature. They won't even reconsider it. So that means that both the parties are kind of holding their guns.
Right. And your party is going to support Dr. Alvi, right?
That is the decision, yes.
It is a stated decision.
Yes,
of course,
so far,
it is coming
yes.
from your mouth, so it is official. But Barrister Saiba, Senator Saiba, the question is about the opposition, why they have failed to come up with a nominee. Second, is there a possibility that joint opposition might support Ayaz Hassan? And the third thing is, your party, a socialist liberal party supporting Maulana Fazlur Rahman as candidate is unheard of. What exactly is happening here?
Well, I think in politics, nothing is the last. I think there is still, we have a time, 4-5 days, and I think that there will be one candidate opposition from opposition side. Even today, when I was coming here, I saw that the People's Party, they went to Maulana's house.
Right.
To
inform him of the decision of the party.
I don't know what will be the decision, but we are hopeful because today there was a meeting at Bacha Khan Markaz of all political parties there at the provincial level, and they also decided that they will try, and my party, they will play their role to bring them together, both the opposition. Basically, it's People's Party and PMLN.
To support Maulana Fazlur Rahman.
No, we want one candidate for the opposition, and we'll definitely play our role. And we are, in fact, we are with both PMLN and with People's Party.
Yeah, but
we are talking yesterday that
was your party not part of the activity that's actually sponsored or nominated Maulana Fazlur Rahman?
It's a joint opposition, actually.
Minus People's Party.
Minus People's Party. It's not only my party. It's a joint opposition.
I mean,
and it was a decision of all the political parties, the small and big and all, PMLN and the small parties.
And they couldn't nominate your party's president for the presidency of Pakistan? They had to go for Maulana Fazlur Rahman?
No, my party, they did actually first, there was, and I even saw that on the TV. But they refused to. So the
who
choice
refused?
was someone, I don't know who
Name
was
the
from
name,
my party, but he refused, and we had only that choice, and that was the name which PMLN gave that to the opposition.
In case there is a joint candidate, how confident are you that you can win this election?
Well, that is going to be neck to neck, I think, then.
Yeah, there's a difference of 26 numbers.
No, I think there is a difference of 11 or 12, I think.
But last I heard was 26 votes.
No,
but
it was
can be
26 is the independent, actually.
Right.
So still there is like, even if the independent joined opposition, still there will be 3 or 4 vote difference. So I think it will be difficult then for the government. Now it's, if they are split like how they are right now, the opposition, it's very easy for
and Barrister Saab has already said that looking at the lack of unity, the clear signal is that Dr. Alvi is the next president.
Right, like till today. But as I said, that nothing is last in politics. You never know what will happen at the last moment.
Right. Is there a possibility of a consensus presidential candidate? That your party and the ruling government, the ruling coalition could actually reach out to the opposition and ask them to withdraw not one but 2 candidates and to actually support Dr. Alvi?
Well, to my knowledge, no such offer has been made so far, but
by the government?
By the government, yes, because the number game is quite clearly in favor of the government alliance. The fight, or the rather infighting, is going on within the opposition ranks, and I believe that to me it is incomprehensible as to why Pakistan People's Party opted for launching their own candidate or fielding their own candidate, because that is a clear sign that they don't want to tag along with the opposition as jointly. And
the opposition or only PMLN?
Well, PMLN is the major kind of major component of the opposition. However, there are other parties as well.
They say they don't want to be B team of PMLN.
Well, that could be one of the explanations for their action, but I believe that the way things are developing now, I see that there is a clear-cut move towards disaster for them, because they would not be able to muster enough votes to even get half of the votes.
Okay.
So therefore, I personally believe that had there been a joint candidate from the opposition side, then we would have been concerned and probably the
Even
fight
now
would have
concerned?
been, not now.
Although,
now the
no, even when they were united, you would have been concerned, despite the fact that you have an edge of 25, 26, at
Yes,
least,
yes.
according to my numbers, and 12 according to hers.
Yeah. I think then in this case we are comparatively safe. But then if a joint candidate was fielded, then naturally there would have been comparatively good competition. However, since the vote is going to be a secret ballot, right? Sometimes things do turn around. You never know, because maybe there are some members who have a grudge against the ruling alliance, but they are in ruling alliance, so you never know. However, it was easy in the case of Prime Minister, because this was an open ballot, so everybody could watch who is voting for whom. In this case, my understanding is if all the opposition was joined together, then there would have been kind of some cause for concern. But I don't see that concern at the moment. I believe it has vanished, and I believe that the result is clear. If they don't form an alliance or an understanding, then I don't think that
that will happen.
Yeah.
Right. Senator Saiba, you have to answer that question about your ideology and supporting a man who is diametrically opposed to your ideology, who has been calling names. He has been naming people names. Even I don't know how much respect he has shown for your leader. So why did you opt for him?
As I said, that it's a decision of a joint opposition, and being
What
a
is
part
joint
of
opposition? What is joint opposition?
Joint opposition, we all the parties of opposition minus People's Party.
Okay.
But still,
No, but is it not true that your party is ideologically
Yes,
closer to
that is-
People's Party rather than PMLN?
I know that is, and we are still trying that. Our people, our leaders, they are in contact with People's Party. And as I said, that we are trying to request, we are requesting actually both the sides, both the opposition, that they should join hands, because now this is the right
there's a
time to
reason
give
why-
a hard time to the government. If it's
Senator
like,
Saiba, there's a reason I'm asking this question. I was listening to many right-wing pundits yesterday. They don't like Maulana Fazlur Rehman, but they are ideologically opposed to your party. And they constantly kept on saying that there is no ideology here, that this is politics of opportunism. And I wanted to have an answer. I don't have an answer. I don't understand why would a party like yours, had it been successful
And
at
I
the
think it's
center or
not
in
the
Punjab,
first
I would
time.
have been voting for your
Yes,
party. But
what you are trying to
you
say, I
ended
agree.
up supporting someone.
It is like, I must say that it's like parliamentary politics.
Yeah. So
The,
no ideology in
The
parliamentary
ideology
politics.
is there, our people are there, but when you are talking about the parliament, you have to follow.
May I
what is-
interject here?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Yeah.
I believe, just to rescue Senator Saiba from the quagmire of this ideological discussion,
This is a genuine question, and it is
You're
there for
right.
you as well.
Yeah, no, but
You
I'm
are
coming
right
to that.
that-
I'm coming to that. I just want to like kind of put on record this fact that realpolitik, right? Realpolitik, as they call it, or power politics.
Okay.
You must be ready for strange bedfellows.
Okay.
That's what they say, right? Yeah, unexpected ones. And ideology does matter. I'm not kind of totally outrightly rejecting ideological the significance of ideology. But I would like to say that when it comes to real politics and the number games, then you have to achieve your target. And as a saying goes, that end justifies the means, right?
Okay.
So it's the means that becomes important and imperative rather than the end.
While you're talking about realpolitik, while you're talking about parliamentary democracy, all the cherished values of democracy go out of the window?
Because it comes to number game,
No,
you see.
and
That's the
yes.
problem.
Yeah.
That is why Allama Iqbal said that
Yeah, but
jamhuriyat
his-
वो तर्ज हुकूमत है कि जिसमें बंदों को गिना करते हैं, तोला नहीं करते.
Yeah.
And when you toll, you know, when you
People are not
yeah,
weighed,
yeah,
they are
they are not
counted.
weighed. Yes, yes. So ideology goes out of the window, you see.
No, and let me add one thing. Yesterday, Maulana Sahab was telling me, the Senator Maulana Sahab, he was telling me that you are definitely going to vote us because we voted you. So, in the Senate election, they voted me.
Yeah.
So that is what he said. It's parliamentary politics. Like,
I
how
mean,
come they
I
voted
get
me?
that. But one
Because,
thing I have to appreciate about People's Party, People's Party might be on a weaker wicket, but it has been setting agenda of the opposition. It got all the votes from opposition for its speaker candidate. It didn't vote for Shehbaz Sharif Saab. It doesn't seem to be voting for your candidate in the election, presidential election. Maybe you could have also played similar kind. If it is about realpolitik, at least one would have said that somebody
As I said that-
ideologically refreshing was
as
winning.
I said, nothing is last, and you never know what is going
Okay.
to happen at the end.
I mean, is there a chance that Aswan Jarwali might be the candidate now?
No,
No, that cannot happen because tomorrow is the day of the withdrawal. Yeah.
Farooq, you remember Maulana Fazlur Rahman was kind of an ally of Benazir Bhutto Sahiba's government, and all along
And Musharraf.
he was extending
and
his-
Nawaz
yeah,
Sharif.
yes,
And everybody
was-
else.
So he's a real politician, and he understands ground realities. Similarly, I think that why is Zardari Saab being known as a magician politician? Why? Because he understands these these niceties and these intricacies of parliamentary democracy, and he knows how to play with the opportunity, how to exploit an opportunity. So I think that he probably feels that this is a real opportunity coming his way, and he must field this candidate. But my failure of understanding is that I don't comprehend actually his tactics. I don't see
Nor can
this
I.
getting him anywhere.
Yeah.
So that is one issue with me, or maybe of outside observers. Well, let's see how it goes. My worry is that maybe in the end, once their presidential candidate loses
Is
the
elect-
election,
okay.
loses the
Loses
election,
the
right? Yeah, which seems quite obvious. There might be, differences appearing within the opposition in the longer run, in the context of legislation or
Okay.
passing of amendments and all that, constitutional amendments or bills. That would be, in my opinion, more damaging for the opposition in the
For
long
the
run.
opposition or the government or anybody?
Damaging for
Not-
the opposition,
Not for
because they
People's
will-
Party
And
itself?
actually, it will be
I believe
damaging
it
for
would.
Pakistan, actually. That damages,
Yeah.
because you need a strong opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for,
but not this strong. I mean,
no,
half of the
I mean, it's
parliament
not-
is
it's
sitting in
not-
opposition.
yes, it's not a strong opposition.
Let me use this.
It is not willfully strong, opposition, but it is.
Let me use
Numerically, it is.
another terminology. I believe opposition is has good strength in the parliament, but with this division, it has become impotent. Now,
Yes.
I don't think that they can make any difference
Okay.
if this goes
For
along.
now.
Yeah,
For
for
now.
now, yeah, but we don't know
But
about
you
the future.
never know about fate. The favorites might become, disliked ones, and then anything
that
can
can happen anytime when you have ladla politics. You
But
always
here's
have
the
these
problem. We call ourselves an ideological nation, which has some foundation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then we have to believe that politicians, especially political parties, your party, by the way, also has an ideology. You speak for the working man, right?
Yeah.
Not the Jagirdars and Vaderas. But are you telling me at this moment that ideas, promises, theories are done away with? They are no more relevant in Pakistan?
They are relevant in Pakistan. I believe that the real strength of a political party comes from its ideology, because the workers that you get, which are your real strength, they get motivated, and and you gather them and muster your strength, your number game in the public on the basis of your ideology. Number one. But then, you know, when you reach a certain stage in parliamentary, I'm talking about parliamentary democracy, because we are not a socialist or a state like Iran. I mean, where you have just one party ideology. Here you have like a you know, a mosaic of ideologies. And
Now, can you
yeah.
distinguish ideologies in the parliament now?
You can't. No, you can. Of course, people
I mean,
do
you're
stand
sitting
for.
with PTI, they're sitting with Maulana Fazlur Rahman. I mean, what am
You
I
see,
to
With
do?
the ideology.
No. Let me tell you something. Insofar as MQM's and PTI's ideology is concerned, I believe, you know, both are with certain disagreements and certain differences. Both parties have been claiming and have been talking about or have been projecting the issues of common man. PTI is a reactionary party which actually emerged from the kind of hatred or dissatisfaction that was generated by the inefficiency of the other parties.
Okay.
Right? So I would say,
just to not to put a finer point here, but you know, reactionary is not you know, a compliment, nor is hatred.
I'm not using it in a negative way. I'm using it in a way that, for example, you are someone else's supporter, you get disappointed by his by his performance, and you come and you join me. Disillusionment should be the right way. Yeah, that this is a party of those people who got disillusioned with their with the political system in the country.
What happens if that worker, that common man, gets disillusioned with your party and their party?
Then we are the losers.
Who is the winner then?
Well, whosoever exploits them, because politics is basically exploitation.
Here's a question for you again. We used to have a divide between right and left, right? There used to be political parties that could be placed on the left of the center. Can you still draw that line now?
That line, I believe, still exists, but
Where?
at the peripheries there are parties. Well, you see, like let me put it this way: People's Party professed and claimed that they are working for Islamic socialism, right? ANP is a nationalist party with a socialist agenda. PTI, my party, is a nationalist party with a socialist agenda.
Yeah.
But
and I'm looking towards the left, and I can't see any political party still sticking to the guns.
No, I don't think.
Sadaqat Abbasi has joined us representing PTI on telephone. Thank you very much, Sadaqat Saab, for your time. Sir, we are talking about the presidential elections, and we are talking about the number game. How confident is your party that you will be able to elect your candidate as the next president of Pakistan?
Thank you, Patafi Saab, for giving me this opportunity. I was there with the presidential candidate of PTI yesterday. And before this episode of division in the opposition, we already had a clear majority and we had our numbers. But thanks to the opposition that we are having a smooth sailing, inshallah. And Dr. Alvi Saab will be President of Pakistan with a clear majority, inshallah.
Okay, Abbasi Saab, here's another question. We have seen that opposition parties are trying to win over each other, their support for their candidate. We haven't seen your party actually reaching out to the opposition and calling for their support.
I guess we think it's a futile exercise. It is just a symbolic activity left now. And we know that the major parties in the opposition are ideologically far away from each other. It is just an arrangement that they are trying to create some trouble for the government. And we don't see any possibility of a coalition or working together in this. We requested them in the media that as there is no opportunity, no possibility of them having any contest, so as PTI has given Prime Minister from Punjab, Speaker from KP, Deputy Speaker from Balochistan, so we wanted a President from Sindh so that all federating units are represented well in the federation. So we requested them, RF Ali Sahab requested them to support us as it's just symbolic. So there's no point in going in this futile exercise. I guess.
But you appeal to them through the media rather than reaching out to them.
I guess we know their response because we have tried in the speaker elections and in the prime minister's elections. and their gestures and their body language and their political, narrative is very clear. So we on using this opportunity and your channel, I would request them to be united and have a consensus on this national seat and this seat of federation. So I request them, as Dr. Alvi requested them, that they should join hands, as there is no benefit of having this going in this exercise.
Right. Sadaqat Abbasi, MNA, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, thank you very much for your time, sir. Coming back to the studio, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add something, that they are very confident, and it seems that, yes, they are going to win. But I think it will be a good gesture from the government side that if they contact the opposition parties also to bring this president on
consensus president.
Yes, I
because
think it will
it
be a
is
very
the
good
symbol of
gesture.
unity of federation.
Yes.
Why not have one candidate?
Yeah, instead of being very confident that, yes, we are going to win, yes, of course, they will.
Astoundingly,
I think that it will be a very...
Perhaps People's Party might listen to them if they are not listening to you. Is there a possibility?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but they should. I mean, sometimes when they, now, which I feel that instead of when he is requesting through your channel, I think the Prime Minister should request the leaders.
Okay, now let us, I get this point, and here's the submission. Let us come back to the old question I was asking him. Can you name a single leftist party in Pakistan?
Ours?
Yours is. Your candidate is Maulana Fazlur Rehman, remember.
I know, but again, it is what I said, that it's a parliamentary politics, but otherwise our workers, our ideology
is parliamentary
is there.
politics not considered something good? Because in UK, they have parliamentary politics. It is the origin of the idea of Westminster-style democracy. And they have Labour Party and Conservatives, and they are very clearly ideologically marked. They never compromise on their ideology, do they? And then they are Lib Dems also. So they have clear demarcation.
Yes, but I think let's talk about Pakistan, because we are quite different from the
come on. I've been telling this nation as a journalist that democracy is the best solution. Yes. And now you are saying that ideology doesn't matter in politics?
No, we do.
In democracy?
No. But sometimes, when you are talking about, let me give you an example. When you say that for the sake of democracy, for the sake of a parliament, normally we do talk on, I think, in every talk show, we talk about this, for the sake of democracy, we are doing it. So let's take it this way, that for the sake of democracy, we are doing this.
Okay.
We are
and democracy doesn't include ideology of any kind.
No, it does. I mean, again,
it goes away if it is not in the parliament, if it is not in the cabinets, if it is not in the government or opposition alliances. Ideology has to be there. I mean, I'm not actually...
With the ideology, you see, I mean, it's a philosophical debate now, but...
no, it is very practical also.
Yeah, but it has like kind of philosophical connotations, in the sense that when you look at ideological orientation of a nation or of a party or a group of people, of course, it's important. It's fundamentally important in democracy as well. But you see, then, I mean, I personally think that in order to manage the system or to take part in the system, people do compromise, enter into agreements, not compromise on their ideology necessarily, but they kind of enter into agreements with their probably ideological opponents. Like, for example, you refer to the British parliamentary system. Okay, Labour and Conservatives are always far apart.
I thought you were going to talk about Lib Dems.
Yes, Lib Dems and Conservatives. You see, so they did forge an alliance at one time.
Ask Lib Dem leader what happened to his base then.
Okay, yes, but he did manage to run the country for some time in collaboration with the government. Of course, he suffered the consequences.
And the nation faced Brexit and all that.
Yes, but Pakistani democracy and Pakistan's democracies, what you call it, I would say the essence is that here, we are still in that process of towards maturing our democratic system.
Why?
Number two, because of the fact that, you know, again, well, you know the history of Pakistani democracy.
I do, but I don't see the point here. Pakistan might be at times democracy, at times there might be dictatorship, but even then, the economy of ideas has to continue. And now you're talking about a very much homogeneous political spectrum.
The economy of ideas is something, it is a necessity. Okay. But the reality is sometimes reality demands pragmatism. Yes, sometimes it does. Like for example,
always?
No, not always. Sometimes depends on how much what kind of situation are you facing. Like for example, indeed, there is no doubt that Awami National Party has been a secular, nationalist, socialist party, right? But with the changing situation scenario globally, socialist parties have changed their orientation. Like for example, one last example.
I have to stop you
in
here,
Afghanistan.
With due respect, Rehman Malik Saab has joined us representing Pakistan People's Party. And Rehman Malik Saab, thank you very much, sir, for your time. The question is about the presidential election. How confident are you that your candidate can win the presidential election? And secondly, why is it that your party doesn't seem to be moving along with the opposition, sir? Okay, we'll have to come back to the studio. I'm sorry for stopping you. I think we lost him. We are trying again.
Yeah, I was referring to the example of the present system in Afghanistan. You know, during the Soviet occupation, Islamic forces, Islamic-minded parties, religious parties, they were fighting actually a proper war with the communists, okay? Now, with Ashraf Ghani's government, if you look at the composition of their parliament and also those parties which are supporting the government, the same khalqis sitting in the parliament who were former socialist communists are in fact supporting Ashraf Ghani. At the same time, Gulbuddin Hikmatyar, who is the, ultra-radical Islamist.
I know,
he's also
but you're
supporting
not quoting or you're not giving excellent examples, are you?
Examples are not, you don't have a choice of examples.
You
don't have a choice of examples.
Rehman Malik Saab, thank you very much for joining us. Sir, the question is about your party's nominee. How confident are you, sir, that Ayaz Hassan Saab can become president? And why is it that your party seems to be refusing to move along with the rest of opposition?
Patafi sir, I'm very happy to see a good interaction between one of our very able, very eminent senator, Mr. Saif. And let me tell you that Pakistan People's Party decided Ayaz Hassan, considering his past experience, of course, he's a visionary and legal side. And I think we have decided the best candidate. And I hope that Maulana Sahib will consider to withdraw, because what you need is a president which has got administrative experience, who can represent the nation worldwide, and who can actually take up the national matters in the real way and the real way forward. So I think we decided in the interest of the nation, and as very rightly our entire leadership is with full consensus that the only candidate which we have chosen should be voted. And that's why we say...
Malik Saab, how confident are you that he is going to be the president of Pakistan?
Pardon?
Sir, how confident are you that he can become president of Pakistan?
If Maulana Fazlur Rahman withdraws in keeping our old relationship with Maulana Sahib, then we have bright chances. But even if he's there, I think keeping in view the standing of Ayaz Hassan in the country, maybe some of the voters coming from the other parties might come up on merit. So, sir, we are very confident on it, because if the people of Pakistan has to decide merit, so then they can see merit and they can compare the candidates and choose the best. And I think Ayaz Hassan is the best out of all of them.
Right. Rehman sir, one more question, sir, regarding your party's willingness to, move forward along with the rest of opposition. Your party is said to be very, very capable in forging alliances, but it seems that you are not in a negotiating mood. Regarding Shahbaz Sharif, you refused to support him, and now you have not even agreed to reconsider the choice.
You know, every every political party has got their own agenda, they have got their own manifesto, they have vote bank, and actually they have to see the views and, of course, the feelings of the workers. If we refuse to give vote to Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, then you can see yourself, you're very much from the public, that our workers were talking a lot, that a gentleman, a leader who had not expressed good feelings about President Zardari, how could then we go and vote for him? Otherwise, if you say the consensus, yes, we are for consensus, but it's not for every time for Pakistan People's Party to go for consensus and do the sacrifice. I think this is a time for others to sacrifice. And if you recall, we have been sacrificing and we have been having the alliance with all the parties. In the past 5 years, we had government. And, you know, my friend from MKM is sitting. He understands it. And he knows how we handle the situation. So I think in the given situation, all the opposition parties have got their own agendas. And, of course, right. Pakistan People's Party has decided to have our own candidate. And we are not going to budge an inch. And he is our candidate, and I, in fact, through you, I appeal to all the voters, you know, all the senators, MNAs, MPAs, vote for Azaz because he's the only candidate who's fit for the presidency.
Right. Thank you very much, Rehman, Malik Saab. Thank you very much for your time coming back to the studio. You wanted to say something about ideology and politics. Do you want to add to that? Or you want to reflect on what Rehman Malik Saab has said?
I think we spoke a lot on this ideology and all these things. And
no, but do you agree that economy of ideas is essential in this country? That we have to have more than one idea to fight for?
Yes, and I think that this is what I was talking today to someone, and I said that when we are talking about president, we are always thinking that a president is a person who can just sit and relax and just come and show or have a speech on 23rd March or 40. No,
his primary function is to accept certificates and degrees and to distribute degrees.
No, but that is your face, Pakistan face, internationally also and nationally also. So we do need good people. Yes, I agree with him that we do need good and presentable people, educated and who can, I think, who can deliver also. It's
what
not
is your
only
party's objection or opposition's objection regarding the nomination of Ayaz Hassan Saab?
The only objection is that they did not consult. They didn't come and consult with the opposition party.
And PMLN actually consulted regarding Shahbaz Sharif's name when they were nominating
no, they were together and they discussed everyone, like each and every name. And at the end then the Maulana Saab name. Okay,
and
yes.
your party voted for Shahbaz Sharif or didn't? No, it didn't. It was only PMLN's show,
yes.
And now it is People's Party's show.
Yes.
And do you think everybody is trying to preserve their identity?
Yes, but they both
Why is your party
wisely.
not voted about that?
Why
is your party not worried about the same thing? If anybody else is trying to preserve the individuality, why not your party?
Right now, I think we are not in a position.
Okay. Why?
We are not actually, we are not in the parliament. Like we are representatives in the parliament.
Okay.
But right now, it's People's Party and PMLN.
Yeah, but you're talking about your support base on the streets as well.
Yes.
Even one vote. Imran Khan used to be one MNA back in 2002.
Yes, we have.
But he used to stand out as an individual party.
Yes, but right now we are a part of opposition and PMLN and People's Party. As I said, that we are playing a role of bring the opposition together, and we want them to be to act like a proper opposition, a strong opposition. We are now actually
but how
trying
does it help your cause? Because you bring two parties that have been actually siphoning off your support from the electorate, right? You bring them together and you're sealing your fate?
No, we are not. Actually, we are now sitting in opposition.
Okay.
And we have to play our role as opposition
but
along
opposition
with
doesn't have to be united, does it?
So this is what we are trying.
No, but it doesn't need to be united.
Why?
Because they are individuals. There are more than one party. It is not a two-party system.
But right now we want a strong opposition, and we want that they should play their role. We want that there should be a presidential, like for a presidential election, we want that they should be united, and we want to give a hard time to the government.
Okay. Do you agree with her that opposition essentially has to be united?
Depends on what the opposition intends to achieve in the parliament. If they just want to make a point there, just to be present and just to kind of project their stance on each and every occasion, then they can be disunited. There can be many parties in the opposition without a joint front. But if they want to make some difference, like either resist legislation or introduce their own legislation or pressurize the government to kind of act in a certain way, then they have to be united. Otherwise they'll lose their strength.
Okay.
And when you come to inside the parliament, you see the number of your votes, that matters a lot. Because I mean, otherwise you can't just pursue your agenda, whatever agenda you have. So I believe that,
illustrate it to me. I'm not talking about the opposition. I'm talking about your party. I'm talking about politics of Karachi. Your party is now sharing power with a party that has actually taken away a lot of support, Karachi support from your party. So where is the assurance that tomorrow you don't lose your identity and your supporter goes to PTI?
Being an ally of PTI, I would not like to make a comment that kind of highlights the points of differences between us. But we believe, Muttahida Qawmi Movement believe that we still have that strength. It has been engineered in favor of PTI or those parties which have won from Karachi. We believe that the original strength, the genuine strength of public is still with us. So that's our political
Is there
position.
a possibility that it might not be with you, with PTI, it might be with somebody else, a third party?
It could go to a third party as well, or in the past, let me not talk about that political party to which general public refer to, but I believe that apparently what looks like is that our strength has been given to some other party, right? Now, but we are allies now. As I said, you always have strange bedfellows in politics. Now coming to
Too many strange bedfellows these days, right?
This is
all the time.
These are called the vicissitudes of political realities. You see, so we are just suffering from those vicissitudes, and we have no other option left. Now, coming to this point, what we believe is that, and why did we join hands with PTI? Because we knew that we have to serve our people in whatever meager capacity we can, right? So with the number of seats that we had, we knew that if we sit in the opposition, we will not be able to create any jobs, any employment opportunities, any development work. We would not be able to. So that is why, in order to benefit our voter and our support,
how does the federal government now create jobs there? Shouldn't if that was the case, you should have joined the Sindh government rather than the
It
center.
was difficult for us because we have had quite a bitter experience with the party in power in Sindh. Yes, we in the past we did join them, and that's a matter of record. But we did not get the desired results. Rather, we got the flack and the negative what you call it results or consequences of that. We suffered from those negative consequences. However, I believe that my party took this decision to support PTI in the center and to sit in the opposition in Punjab, in Sindh, only for the sake of getting some support from at least the federal government.
Yeah, but
in respect
it doesn't
of
support your cause in Karachi, does it? Because then you cannot rewrite the provincial or local bodies' laws in the province, and then you cannot empower the Karachi.
The federal government has some say in some of the projects. There are certain projects that are sponsored, funded by the federal government. Initiatives are taken by them, number one. Number two, there are like, for example, K4 project. It's a mega water supply project for Karachi. That is like kind of has been stalled by the previous government despite our repeated requests and despite their repeated promises that they will do it, but they never did it. So there are certain issues in which we can, as I said, we see a window of opportunity for the federal government to do something for public in Karachi. So that was one of the reasons. The other issue is that Karachi, the federal government receives almost more than 60% of revenue from Karachi.
Right.
But very
Nothing,
small amount
hardly
is spent.
anything is paid
yeah,
back.
Yeah, so
that is a good argument, but I'm told that I have to conclude the program. If you want to add something, please do.
I just want that, I wish that we all bring the president with consensus.
Amen.
Yes. And instead of going through all these things, like if the opposition is not going to bring a joint candidate,
right.
So there is no need for all these things. I think that
they have already won.
Yes, so I just wish this.
Yeah, but you have helped me, and today's session was quite illuminating. It helped me understand how everything in this presidential election is about identities, and how every party is trying to, safeguard their identity by compromising with one party or the other. That is very important thing, and I hope someday we are going to have a more detailed discussion on that. Senator Sitara, Ayaz, thank you very much for your time. Barrister Muhammad Ali Saif, always great pleasure having you in the show as well.
Thank you.
Viewers, you have listened to our participants. This discussion has to continue, because in Pakistan it seems that many political parties, with the exception of one party, and that is very important party, it is ruling the country now. It is PTI. With the exception of that party, it seems all other parties are worried about their identity. And at times they have to cut deals, at times they have to actually be part of activities that they might not have supported otherwise. For example, ANP might not have supported Maulana Fazlur Rahman, but they have to, perhaps for the optics' sake. But at this moment, it is important to remember that we can create a society where you have only one ideology, one party, one philosophy. But usually that doesn't help in the evolution of society itself or the polity itself. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching us. Take care.